video is going to be about finding area and perimeters of different shapes. This is not the video if you want to learn how to use the formula to finding area and perimeter. This is about drawing the grids inside the box. So if you are looking at a shape whose measurements are greater than 10, you need to go watch the video about finding area and perimeter with the formula. This is not that video. We're going to be drawing grids into these shapes today. So let's look at this very first shape. It's a rectangle that's a 3 by 5. This 3 up here at the top where my star is, that is the length of that side of the shape. Now we know that rectangles, the opposite sides are the same. So if the top is 3, the bottom opposite side has to be 3. And if the side is 5, then the other side is 5 as well. My suggestion is to go ahead and just label all the sides of the shape that you're looking at. Now, when we are finding the area and perimeter of a shape that does not have a grid drawn in it, we can draw the grid inside of it as long as the numbers are less than 10. So when I'm looking at the 3 up at the top here, that means I'm going to have 3 columns. So I'm going to draw 3 columns inside this shape. And then I'm going to count. I'm going to make sure that I have 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. And I should have 3 at the bottom as well. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now I'm going to draw 5 rows because my side number is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to double check to make sure that I have 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And oops, I don't. That's okay. I can erase. I'm just going to erase my entire picture. I don't like how uneven that is. All right, so I'm going to draw my 3 rows again. I'm going to draw my 5 rows. That looks better to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. All right, we're looking good here. Now to find the area is the measurement of the inside of the shape. So I'm going to count the inside boxes. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. My area then would be 15 because I was able to draw 15 boxes inside of that. Now, to find the perimeter, I'm going to count the outside edges of these boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. The perimeter would be 16. Let's look at another rectangle. Now we would solve this the same way, but instead of our numbers being 3 and 5, our dimensions or sizes are 4 and 9. So I'm going to start with this 4. If it's 4 on that side, the opposite side is also 4. And if the top is 9, that means the opposite side, the bottom, is also 9. I'm going to start with that 4 here, and I'm going to make 4 rows. 3 and 4. And I'm going to double check to make sure I have my 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I do. Now I'm going to have 9 columns here. 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. All right, I'm going to count to make sure I have my 9 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so now I'm going to count the inside boxes to find the area of this rectangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So my area would be 36. Now to find the perimeter, again, I just count the outside edges of these boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So the perimeter there would be 26. Now, when they are rectangles or squares, it's very, very easy to find the area and perimeter and draw those grids. But in 4th grade, we introduce irregular shapes. And oops, let me erase this. They're introduced to irregular shapes that kind of look like this. What we teach them is to divide these shapes into squares and rectangles to make them easier. So I'm going to start with the one on the left that looks like an upside down T, and I'm going to divide that in a way that I make squares or rectangles, and it makes the most sense to divide it right there. So I have a square at the top, and I know it's a square because the two sides are 3, and I know that all the sides of a square are the same. And then I have a rectangle at the bottom, and I know that that's a rectangle because only opposite sides are the same. Now I'm going to start by cutting the square at the top into my grids, and I'm going to be real careful of that because between this chunk and this chunk is 3, and this chunk and this chunk is 3. So I'm going to draw 3 columns, double check 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to have 3 rows, and I'm going to double check 1, 2, 3. Now the rectangle below is going to be a little bit more of a challenge. What I would do is I would start by drawing, continuing on down the columns that you drew in the square. So I'm going to draw this one down, and I'm going to draw this one down because that's going to be a part of it. I'm also going to draw that line down and this line down right here. Now when I'm looking at this, my dimensions, I have a 2 by 9. So I'm going to have 2 rows. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut that in half for that 2, 1, 2. And I'm going to have 9 columns. Now if you look at this, I already have 3 of my columns drawn. So I'm going to make the rest out. And I'm going to double check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to make sure I have my 9 boxes there, and I do. Now I can find the area and the perimeter of this shape fairly easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So the area is 27. Now, perimeter, same way as you would do for squares and rectangles. You're just counting the outside edges of these boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. The answer there for the perimeter would be 28. Now, I'm given the dimensions here, so my area would be 27 inches squared, and my perimeter would be just 28 inches. Area is always done in square units, so we put that little 2 in the air for square units. Now, when I'm looking at my next shape, it looks like a U. This one's a little bit more challenging than the T's or even the shapes that look like L's. So what I would do is I would still cut this into squares and rectangles. I'm going to cut it there, and I'm going to cut it here. Now, what I tell the students is to look at what you are given. We know that this side right here, this entire side is 5. Well, guess what? This entire side right here is also going to be 5. Because opposite sides are equal, that's going to be 5. Now, if I look up here, this 2 here belongs to this chunk right here. And this 3 belongs to the top chunk. So if the 3 is at the top, this chunk down here that I'm drawing my 2 lines at, that chunk is 3. Now if I come over here at my second rectangle here on the end, this chunk to this chunk, up there it's 3. Down here it will also be 3. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw in the grid onto my 2 outside rectangles. So I know I have 3 columns because the 3 up here, and I don't like how even those are. I want to erase, and I'm going to do it again. Don't be afraid to erase. Now, when I'm looking at this, I know that from here to here, there's 2. So I know I'm going to have this section divided into 2. So I'm going to kind of cut that section in half like that, and then do my line. So there I have 2 sections. Now, the rest of that rectangle, I'm going to draw 3 rows because this bottom section here plus this top section here has to equal that 5. So I'm going to come in here. There you go. And I'm going to double check to make sure that I have 5 going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I do. So now I'm going to come over here to my next rectangle, and I'm going to do the same thing. I have 3 rows or 3 columns, sorry. I'm going to double check. 1, 2, 3. Good. And I know, because opposite sides are equal, that I am going to have 5 here. And I also know that this was going to be 2 centimeters because the opposite side is 2 centimeters. So I'm going to cut this chunk off. I'm going to cut that in half. 1, 2. Good. Then the bottom half, I'm going to have my 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. I'm going to check to make sure that I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now, I have my middle section here. And it gets kind of confusing because there's not any dimensions for this shape, but there actually is. You have to think this one through. If I know that this section right here is 2 of the entire side here over here, then what's left over has to be added to that 2 to give me my 5. Well, what plus 2 will give me 5? Well, 3. So this chunk right here has to equal 3. Has to have 3 rows. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw, I'm going to connect the lines, and it's going to give me my 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, how do I know how many columns I have? Well, you know that the whole bottom half here, from here to here, is 10. Well, and you know that this chunk here and this chunk here, when I add those 2 sides together, that gives me 6 because 3 plus 3 equals 6. Well, what plus 6 equals 10? Well, all I have to do is do 10 minus 6 gives me 4. So then I know that 4 plus 6 equals 10. So this little section here has to equal 4 centimeters. So I'm going to have 4 columns. So I have 1, 2, 3 going up the top, 1, 2, 3, 4 going down the side. So now I can come in here and I can find the area first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So my area would be 42 centimeters squared. Now, to find the perimeter, I do the same thing. I count the outside edges of my shape here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So it would just be 34 centimeters. If you have, that's how you do area and perimeter by drawing in a grid. Now, would I draw in a grid that has a shape that has something larger than 10? Absolutely not. It's too much work. It would get too confusing. Can you imagine trying to draw 25 rows and 15 columns? It would just get too confusing and too messy. So I would use the formulas for that, and that's going to be another movie. But at the beginning of the year, we don't teach the formula yet. So they'll be drawing in the grid. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me, email me, message me on Class Dojo. I hope this helps.